G'day guys and gal. Last year I announced the largest ever cash prize for a miniature painting competition ever, $21,500 USD. Now the previous largest cash prize was $21,000 USD, so I obviously had to top it. I have sold about 100,000 major minis during the company's lifespan, and nothing brings me more joy than seeing people paint them and share them for the love of the game. So I want to reward those that have supported me, the business, and the hobby by offering such a large prize. I also didn't want to just make it so the best, most freakish painters would automatically win all the time. So I've also added in other categories such as most creative, best diorama, best kit bash, to allow for less technically skilled or talented, but just as, if not more so, creative hobbyists to win thousands of dollars as well. And boy, do we have some insane entries. So sit back and enjoy as I take you through some absolutely incredible paint jobs and give away a shitload of money. I'll be going through category by category, showing off the best from these categories before announcing the winner of each. Now let's get into it. Okay, let's start with the subcategories and work our way towards the best painted at the end, so I can milk you for as much watch time as physically possible. Starting us off with the most creative paint job. This is a tough one, as generally when you go for an unconventional scheme, you often sacrifice quality, as there's a reason why it's unconventional. However, Mark did a sick job with his Xenonid Winged Parasite, giving it a sharp, vibrant blue and red scheme, and even throwing in a bit of a micro diorama of Ripley, a homage to the Alien movies. Sam would go on to top him with an insane King Orc paint scheme, managing to make a chaotic paint scheme actually look awesome, with the arm blade being especially well painted. However, the winner of this category can only be Emil's Ravenlord Trader Hunter. I've seen hundreds of painted Ravenlords, and because of the sculpt, it's one of the easier major minis to paint well and make clean. However, they always end up being a little bit flat due to the dark colors. Emil, however, says fuck that, creating a sick base, vibrant but still dark colors, incredible painting techniques for the metal, as well as the OSL for the lightning claws, even adding in that metal electric effect. The red is deep and rich, and I even love the touch he put into the jetpack heat. Overall, an incredibly well painted and clever model, using creativity to make the model pop even harder. A well-deserved category winner. Our next best category is Best Kit Bash. We didn't actually get too many Kit Bash entries this year, however we did get a few hot ones. Callum came out with a well-painted Ra V1, as well as his Eagle Companion, whilst Mikey sent in a really sweet Space Elf Wolf Alpha Legion Disguise blend, which are notoriously hard to pull off. But the hottest Kit Bash for sure is by Benji, who used the Major Mini Space Shark upgrade sprue to turn a Sternguard veteran into a Space Shark chapter champion. Exactly the use case we were hoping for when we made the Space Shark upgrade sprue. Couldn't be more impressed with this. Congratulations to Benji on winning Best Kit Bash. After this, we have our Best Diorama category. You guys know I'm a fucking slut for a good diorama, and boy oh boy did you guys not disappoint. I've received so many diorama entries, so let's work through them. Callum gave us a sick Shark Daddy shrine diorama, giving the Shark Daddy the aura he deserves. While the photography and painting skills aren't great, Christopher provided us with a War in the Webway diorama with a drawn background, which is funny as I'm currently working on a massive Webway diorama project myself. Darren paired a sick Iron Warlock paint job with an awesome demonic base diorama. Remember guys, a diorama is technically just an elaborate base. Once you realize that, building a diorama becomes a lot less intimidating. A good example of what I just said is Jono's Chaotic Terminator Lord diorama. Seems like a hybrid between Nurgle and Khorne, which is very cool and creative. Mikey painted a full battle scene between the Space Sharks as well as the World Eaters, which is fucking awesome. In a similar fashion, Nathan created some Tau Healy elites butchering some poor Planetary Defense Force troops. Very nice. William, the fucking mad lad, created the ultimate TTS diorama, featuring Kitten alongside his oily brothers, and this one made me smile. TTS lives, stomp, stomp. This next one was very close to winning due to the sheer quality, featuring the last Lunar Wolf on a very interesting diorama, with an incredibly well painted Sons of Horus flag. Probably the best technically painted of all the dioramas. This next diorama by Sam came in second place, showing the Hated One in his dark lair. Incredible paint job, awesome lair, super contextual. I thought it would be unbeatable, but then Robert came in hot, also with a Hated One diorama. Now while at a glance it doesn't look too special, after all it's not the best painted here, however the longer you look at it the more awesome it becomes. Basically the Hated One and his word bearers are summoning a demon via a ritual. However then you notice Narek, the bearer of the word, taking a shot at the Hated One with a bullet that is fully created and in the diorama as well. They're even doing the camo cloak armor effect on Narek, which adds to the lore of the diorama. The painting is solid as well. It's clean, features some cool techniques such as is OSL, however the fact that it isn't technically the best painted is what these subcategories are all about. Spirit, creativity and vision over skill and talent. A very well deserved win for Robert. Now we move on to the Big E section. These paint jobs are all Big E's, and god fucking damn it, some people are way too good at this hobby. There was a lot of Big E entries and I saw them all and pretty much all of them were dope. However, to keep the pacing of this video solid, we'll just dive into the best. Scott kicks this off with a stunning, cleanly painted Big E. There is nothing wrong with this paint job at all. The only thing that kept it from breaking into the top 3 is that it just lacked those advanced techniques, such as proper gems, OSL on the sword and claws, depth in the armor, and so on, but it's stunning nonetheless. Okay, hold on to your dick, cause shit's about to get hectic. In third place for the Big E, we have Andreas, who painted a fully non-metallic metal Big E using an incredibly stylized style. Just look at the claw and sword flames, the way the armor is lit up, the gems. Such a fucking awesome model and well deserving of the money. In second place we have Samuel, who likewise painted a fully non-metallic metal Big E, actually a Big E V1, which is why some of the parts look different. The reason I gave second to Samuel over Andreas is because I believe his non-metallic metal work is cleaner and more advanced. The model comes together nicer, and I like the way he uses some white, which I don't see many Big E's having. First place is just insane. Give a round of applause for Spencer. Holy shit. When it comes to most paint jobs, even advanced ones, I can see the techniques they use even if I wouldn't be able to emulate it. However, with this, I don't even know where the brush would start. Everything is so incredibly well painted. I have no idea what techniques were used to make it so good. The face is godlike, the eyes perfect. The paint scheme is also just not a classic gold, but a super interesting style. Dude even made the Big E hold his sword like a gangster from the hood. Just unbelievably sick, well deserved. Now there is also the most creative Big E category as a bonus, which goes to Florentine, who used non-metallic metal to turn his Big E into a Shadowkeeper scheme, which has come out extremely well. Even using the Skull Emperor helmet variant, which I don't see too much of either. Incredible work to the Big E winners. Now we're diving into the raw best painted category. Fuck, this was hard, you guys are legends. Let's start looking at the best entries who didn't quite win, but I want to pay respect to regardless. Chloe's Last Lunar Wolf is incredibly clean, well painted, and features some sick freehand, showing off Garvey during the Isfan atrocity. Christopher's Burning Hand is unreal. Honestly, all Burning Hands that were submitted all look sick. Even if you paint this model like shit, it still comes out epic because of the sculpt. I really need to bring this guy back, eh? I mean, to back up what I just said, William's Burning Hand is not particularly dynamic, just metallic with some dry brushing, but it looks like a stunning set piece. And if you look at Parker's Burning Hand, it's objectively a messy paint job. The paint doesn't even really stand in the lines, but it also somehow looks competition worthy. Such a sick fucking sculpt. David made multiple Space Elf submissions, all of them just as good as the last. My favorite of his being the Space Elf Jester. Incredible lighting and freehand on that one. For some reason I can't explain, I just love Emily's Black Terror. The way the green and purple go together and the boldness of taking the mini photo outdoors instead of in a light box, and it's still looking great. While Haymo's Sev may not look particularly eye-catching or dynamic, it's extremely clean. Great layering, good shading, basic but good freehand. If you're new to painting, Haymo's type of painting is what you should be using as reference to get decent, not some fucking insane NMM or OSL paint jobs. Juan submitted 3 incredible paint jobs, and I really wanted to put at least one in the winning category, but the competition is just too fierce. His style is incredible, with his Avenger Lord standing out as the top tier paint job. Best I've ever seen for that model. Jason gave us an extremely clean, near perfect paint job of the Raven Lord, managing to make the armor look dynamic despite the darkness of it. Michael submitted an amazing fully non-metallic metal Fallen Angel, every part meticulously painted. Now before we jump into the top 3, who are the paid winners, I do have a few honorable mentions. Models that weren't necessarily well painted, but I wanted to shout out regardless for various reasons. Austin submitted a black scheme battlesuit for the Kagetora Cyber Dynasty launch I did a few years ago. This was the first big launch for Major Minis, so seeing one of these get sent in was an awesome surprise. I actually really wanted to bring that range back and expand upon it. However, the rights to it were owned by the modeler, and he was a interesting fellow to work with, which is why I no longer launch with minis I don't have ownership rights to. Brandon submitted the first painted Peter Turbo and did a solid job of it. If you're yet to get yours, don't worry, the team is working hard to get all of these sent out. You will have yours soon. Lloyd showed off an awesome concept of the Black Terror ripping a Space Marine in half. Yes, it's not well shot and it's painted like shit, but it looks fucking awesome regardless. Mitchell sent in a Diarama styled group shot featuring all the bird boys and their Raven Lord. Even though the painting skill isn't great, you can tell the amount of love this guy has for the birds And for the last honorable mention, Tommy's sending in his dual diorama of the Crimson Fist versus the Terminator Lord. It's not particularly eye-catching or dynamic, but I love the simplistic brutality of it and how well those models come together in a fight. Now let's dive into the top 3. This was fucking hard, and I know not everyone is going to agree with how I've ordered it, but it's my $21,500 USD, not yours, so you can lick my balls. In third place, we have Mason, who I actually believe has painted the most perfect model you can paint of the Dark Hunter in that style. Like, there's literally nothing you can do to improve upon this in my opinion. His technique is flawless, from how he did the non-metallic metal, to the axe head, to the way the armor is highlighted and shaded, to the freehand. I am in absolute awe. If you're confused in how I can say it's perfect but put it in third place, it's because although it's perfect for the style he chose, there are more eye-catching and impressive styles you can do, which we will see. In second place, we have Alex and his Fallen Angel. Bro, just look at that armor. The non-metallic metal is god tier and the face is like photo real, it's insane. The lights of the eyes, the fangs, the feathers are also done in a way that looks great but doesn't distract from the model, in a similar way to how the Blood Angel on the base is deliberately made more simple. The composition is very well thought out, the dude is just a genuine fucking artist. In number 1 spot, we have Charlie, who submitted 2 paint jobs in the same style, however we will focus on the King Orc. Now the photography isn't the best sadly, but that doesn't stop you from seeing the legendary work done here. I am not actually sure what this style is called, but it's the one Flame on Miniatures uses, and it's my favorite painting style in existence, with Flame on Miniatures being my favorite painter, using heavy contrast to make the model look incredible. What I love about the style is that you can't just wing it, you have to nail it for it to look good and sell the illusion of the shading, OSL and highlighting. I'm also pretty sure it's a paintbrush only technique. You can't airbrush to cut corners. Look at the gun, how it sells the metal effect whilst your brain is fully convinced that the model is lit up by the light source on the base. Now there may be some bias here as the technique he used is by far my favorite, however I still think even without the bias, this is a well-deserved number 1 win. Thank you so much to everyone who entered. I saw each and every entry and I even appreciate the horrendous dog shit ones as I can feel the love and care that went into them. I'll be contacting the winners via email to organize payments. I'm not sure when the next competition will be, however in the meantime, jump onto the website and pick yourself up a Major Mini. I need to sell a fair few to cover the costs of this competition. And we've also just launched a monthly mystery box, the War Chest, which will give you a bunch of mystery minis up to 50% off each month, with April's box having a big EV2 in it, which you can't buy anywhere else. Link will be below. Thank you guys again. Peace.